This is Russell Brand for Letters Live, #read a letter. Write a letter to anyone you want, then read it out. I've written mine to Boris Johnson. All right, Boris, I'm writing this for Letters Live, a charity that explores and expresses the creativity and beauty of the art of letter writing. But I'm still trying to do it as a sincere letter, as if I am actually writing it to you and it's not solely a rhetorical exercise. Even though, unlike with a real letter, I'm not expecting a reply. And I don't want to write one of those hectoring, lachrymose moans that these things can turn into. I don't want it to be all, "Hey Boris, I'm going to give it to you straight, man," like some terribly earnest, hippie, ranting diatribe. Really, it's because for the first time, your terrific sense of humour aside, I saw your humanity when you made your statement of thanks to the NHS after being discharged. I think maybe you nearly cried at the bit where you said our NHS is powered by love. Did you? It looked like you did. It could have been that crying at your own beauty type crying that my wife said I did when I proposed to her, or it could have been, I'm hoping it was, a kind of tearful epiphany. Was it an epiphany? As I watched you, I wondered, how can a Boris Johnson government ever again rescind funding or discuss privatisation of the NHS, of our NHS? How can there be any policy or attitude other than unmitigated and unending support for the NHS, and more broadly for all forms of social care, welfare, for all endeavours powered by love? I genuinely, am I naive, felt that you meant what you said, especially when listing the names of the dozen nurses who cared for you. I was struck by the specificity of you declaring the nationality of the two nurses you nominated for particular praise, one Portuguese, the other a Kiwi. Then I wondered, did he do that knowing that the Guardian or whoever would inevitably follow up with these nurses, and if they found out they weren't British nationals, they'd use it to disparage your pro-Brexit rise to dominance, so the best thing to do was be explicit from the get-go? Also, and this is my own cynicism, and I don't want to be a cynic, I'm an optimist. I believe in love and humanity and God and goodness and our ability to change. But when you say repeatedly and deliberately, our NHS, I can't help but think that it's the result of a strategic brainstorm by you and Dominic Cummings. I mean, you've read the classics, you know more about this stuff than I do, but I reckon it could be argued that our NHS is functioning as a kind of synecdoche for a new national identity that entails unassailable governmental authority, because the measures taken to ensure the safety of the population have granted unprecedented power, and having a kind of benevolent deity in our state pantheon to rally around definitely serves that power, as well as being medically necessary, obviously. I'm saying we all love the NHS. The NHS is like a secular version of the Virgin Mary, a loving and yet tortured matriarch, a benign shadow to the overt patriarchal dominance that usually abides. The NHS is definitely a she. I suppose my point is this. We all know that the public-facing aspect of government involves some strategy, some duplicity, the management of information, of truth. Up until this crisis, our faith in politicians was at an all-time low. A lot of us are searching for meaning in this peculiar time, and one thing many are feeling, it seems, is that this is an opportunity for us to reassess our values. What do we care about? What is important? What are our priorities? One day, some kind of normality will resume. Businesses will again function normally. Profit, power, control will again seem like the most important things in the world. My prayer for you, Boris Johnson, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, is that when the pressure of your post demands that you reassert the interests of the old order, assuming those interests aren't cunningly being asserted even now, you will remember again the names of those nurses, remember again the humility and vulnerability that sickness brings, and remember too that either side of this crisis, fear, suffering and vulnerability are the constant backdrop of the lives of many British and non-British people. I pray for you, your family, our NHS, for all of us. I'm glad you're better, Boris. Stay better. Love, Russell.